Good evening. My name is Nartana Premachandra, and I'm a classical Indian dancer with Dances of India. And this is my pot. And by the end of this story, you will find out that this is also your pot. It belongs to each and every one of you. So I'm with Dances of India. This is our 42nd season in town. We're one of the oldest classical Indian dance companies in the US, actually. And, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So we have danced all around St. Louis. We do have a big show every fall, and there is a flyer for that in the lobby if you're interested. But today I'd like to tell you a story about an incident that happened about 10 years ago, in the Taiwanese church in Chesterfield. They had asked us to perform. So I went there, and whenever you perform at any of these events, even though I've done hundreds around town, you never know how each one will turn out. I mean, because the venue is different, the audience is different, the moods of people are different, the weather is different, the planetary alignments are different, right? Each day. So I get there, and this very elegant gentleman greets me, and I say, "Thank you so much for inviting us to perform for Chinese New Year." And he stares at me, he doesn't say a word, and his eyes grow large. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? And he said, "We are from Taiwan. We are not from China. You are not here for the Chinese New Year. You are here for the Lunar New Year." I'm like, oh my God, I should have brushed up on my Southeast Asian geopolitics before coming here, And I'm sure he's thinking, oh, these Americans, they just lump different countries of the world into one huge country they don't know. And so I felt terrible. But I did have an excuse. The week previously, I had performed at the Chinese Buddhist temple in Maryland Heights. For those of you who don't know it, it's in what used to be a church. So you go inside and you expect to see an icon of Jesus, or where you would expect to see an icon of Jesus or the Virgin Mary. There's a large statue of the Buddha. So I danced for them, and the audience was like 99% Chinese, and most of them did not speak English. So I did a dance of Avalokiteshvara, who is the Buddhist deity of compassion. And just to clarify, I don't do Bollywood. So Bollywood is rooted in Indian dance, classical Indian dance, but they tend to shake and shimmy a lot more than we do. So we tell stories with our hands, our eyes, our face, even the stance of the body. So I told this story about Avalokiteshvara, who is the deity of peace and compassion. He blesses his devotees. He weeps at the sorrows of the world, but he is filled with the radiant, transcendent joy with which he embraces all his devotees. So I told that story, and it actually, everyone got it. Everyone understood it, and there was even Chinese vegetarian takeaway meals afterwards. So it was great, it was great. So I tried explaining all this to the Taiwanese gentleman, and he's like, yeah, he wasn't too impressed. So I went ahead and I did my dance. So I danced with this pot, and it was a very simple South Indian folk dance. There were just 2 lines of a story to it. It was written in Kannada, which is a language of a state of South India. But, at this point, and this whole thing has started off on such a bad foot that I just wanted to leave. So I just thought, let me just do the dance. I'm not even going to explain the meaning, And the audience, they're English. Not all of them spoke English fluently. So I thought, I'll just dance. So I did the dance, and it's a very kind of catchy dance. But it really would amaze me. As I was dancing, people started stamping their feet and clapping their hands, their big smiles, like, oh my God, they're really loving this. And so at the end of the dance, a Taiwanese woman asked, in kind of broken English, she asked, what does this, and then she said something which is sort of a pulverized Kannada word, and she said, what does this mean? And I said, so this is the story of the dance. You don't have to scrub this pot. You don't have to wash it. It shines. It doesn't matter if it's copper or brass or gold. It shines. So what's the story of this pot? It represents the human soul. And I thought, here was a Taiwanese Christian asking me, a Hindu born in St. Louis, the meaning of this song, written in South India. By the way, it was written by a Muslim living in a Hindu village. It was like, wow, I thought flyover countries become kind of fly. So thank you so much. Thank you.